All right, so here's an office accent wall we did. Came out pretty good. You can see the final results at the end. The materials for the day were these hexagon tiles. Cool piece of material, but a little difficult to work with. So if you take a quick look at some of these tiles, you can actually see some of them are raised, some of them are flat, but they're all connected with this felt backing. Along with the felt backing, they're all glued together and they're glued to the felt. So there's no peeling them off or trying to use them individually. They're all connected to each other. So you have to use it like this. So this was the day before I started the project. This is me prepping for my starter pieces. So you'll see here, I kind of made a jig to be able to cut this material. And once I'm able to cut off my starting piece, I believe this is for my left side wall, but you can see these pieces fit right together nicely in a straight line. Now, for anybody who's ever done any accent walls or any type of painting or caulking or anything to any type of wall, you know walls are never straight. So this was a gamble I took cutting this material before knowing the full extent of how bowed the walls is, either going in or coming out. Now, I was okay with the left side of the wall, but I was not okay with the ceiling. That one I had to come back and recut. Now, as you can see in here, I've had a couple blowouts trying to cut this stuff. So I tried to be as safe as possible. I set up a jig. I kept my hands away from the blade cutting everything. But as you can see, there's definitely a couple blowouts I had. I figured out how to cut this material in the best way possible so this wouldn't happen. But it did happen on me, I think, 2 or 3 times. Actually, probably more than 2 or 3 times. The ceiling actually wasn't too bad. It was only like the last, I would say, maybe 2 to 3 feet that the tiles I cut beforehand wasn't going to be acceptable on the ceiling. So we definitely had to recut it. We maybe had like anywhere from either a 1/4 inch gap to maybe shy of like a 1/2 inch. But nonetheless, we got it done. And then the pieces that we did cut, we ended up using them at the end. So there was no wasted material or very minimum wasted material, which is what I always strive for. Now, as of our starter rows, we had to make sure these lines were super clean and super straight. We had laser level set up, as well as we had our level tossed up there to make sure we had everything straight going right across the wall. If anything was out of whack, by the time you got 3/4 down to the wall, you would have had so many issues in terms of fitment, because these things have to fit together like a glove. I would not recommend doing this on a wall size any bigger than maybe like a 9 by 10, just because of these tiles have to fit a certain way. And this job took us 2 days to do. The first day was the main portion of the wall, and then the second day was all the end trim pieces. So, but yeah, 2 days of work. The wall looks great. I think it looks like some pennies on a wall if you're looking at it at a certain angle, but I think it came out great.